Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is the PC muscle race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
Hey, what's poppin'?
Hey, LeRon.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going all right. It's going pretty good.
Yeah.
Just wrapped up that wonderful Patreon show. That was a good topic.
Yeah. I have had a lot of nostalgia for strategy guides and old magazines and art books, and just feeling it right now. So just feeling that, nostalgia, as it were.
Feels that special place that story would mention.
Everyone has a special place. Speaking of, I don't know how to transition out of that. Also here, Mad Pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
I am present and wearing my Kojima Productions tank top that I got today.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Because I felt like
Very
it.
cool.
And it's
Nice.
the only Kojima Productions merch that I can really afford. Midna.
That's fair. You didn't buy the life-size replica statue of the astronaut guy?
Ludens?
Yeah, that guy.
Ah!
It's fine.
No, that was slightly out of my budget. Especially if I
Alright.
want to get Troy Baker, a picture with Troy Baker on Friday. So
It's fair. It's gonna cost some time and money in that line.
yes, it will.
Speaking of cost and money, also here is PK Power Pat Klein.
That's right. My premium comes at a pretty penny.
Oh, jeez.
Subscribe for those feed pics.
Oh,
Well, it's Tuesday.
I got what Monaco would say. Such lovely feet.
Yes.
Oh, Midna! She
Love
ripped
it.
a poster of mine.
Oh no, Midna.
Damn
that
it,
Midna.
uh-oh. Time to go to the violin factory.
Violin factory. Jeez.
Oh,
That was dark.
Fine. I'll shut up.
Oh boy. Well, I'll just get the old, what do you say, housekeeping out of the way. If you wanna support, this is the Boss Rush Podcast. You can support us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. For as little as $1, you can get access to the Patreon pre-show. You can get early access to other content, including a book club and expansion pass and all kinds of cool things over there. That's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. But if you can't support us financially, it's okay. You can head over to YouTube, youtube.com/Boss Rush Network, where you can see our beautiful faces talking about video games and things and such, including Expedition 33 spoiler cast that Pat and I did. You can listen to this podcast on your favorite podcast service of choice. Leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review. Really helps us out. And you can see all of our content, including our daily Boss Rush banter pieces, our features, listicles, reviews, and every episode of our podcast and more on our website at bossrush.net. Man, good times. Good times. Congratulations to the writing team for having the best month ever on the website. Very, very good. Everybody deserves Air 5s because, well...
Don't forget to Air 5 yourself, because you had that awesome Destiny review that did wonderfully.
It did okay, but there was a lot of other stuff that went up, so not gonna take all the credit. Anyways, we're here to talk about some topics, and There's a few interesting ones here. A lot of them seem to be what do you say, alienating fan bases. Let's see, which way do we go first? You know what, Stephanie, we're going to go your way first because this seems to be the issue of the current moment. Not just for Nintendo, but for everyone that is making some sort of consumer electronic.
Yeah, sure. And this was the basis of a Boss Rush banter that will be published tomorrow. So yes, very timely. Let me pull it up here. Sorry, my computer doesn't really want to work. So my topic is Nintendo's recent price increase. And unless you live under a rock, which is totally reasonable, because I feel like I'm hyper tuned into the news because I write for the website. Pricing for the original Nintendo Switch, so not Switch 2, but the original Switch that came out in 2017. Family of systems and products will change in the United States based on market conditions effective August 3rd. These include Nintendo Switch OLED, Nintendo Switch Lite, and certain Switch accessories. Nintendo also stated that other products like Alarmo and some Switch 2 accessories will see price increases. They said the Switch 2 console will not experience a price increase, but it is not guaranteed that that won't happen in the future. You can check out the Boss Rush banter when it goes live tomorrow, or just look it up. But an example of a few price increases, I won't list all of them, is the Switch Launch Edition console will go from $300 to $340. The OLEDs go on to $350 to $400. Joy-Con $80 to $90, and the Pro Controller from $70 to $80. However, just to note that customers in the United States aren't alone. Canada is also impacted, just in slightly different ways. I believe Canada is experiencing an increase in NSO membership. While not a political show, and I never discuss politics, many theorize that tariffs are a huge factor, although no causation can be drawn, especially with a particular deal struck between the United States and Japan. But regardless of the situation, Nintendo stated it was only due to market conditions. The reason why I kind of bring this up is really more my focus on the price hike for the original Switch, because generally when a new console generation or the more relevant console is released, the prior console will either the price will stay the same or they will eventually drop. I think this is the first time I've seen a older console, quote unquote, generation go up in price. My guess is this just shows that Nintendo wants to support Switch for a long time, or else they might not care as much. And before I open it to, further discussion, I do want to kind of recap that Nintendo isn't the first to lead the charge. Sony raised PlayStation 5 prices, but they impacted only the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. They cited, or at least an industry analyst stated, while tariffs are a concern, they're not the sole reason for the changes, citing inflation, currency shifts, and broader global financial trends. Then, May of this year, Microsoft recently raised all of their Xbox console prices. Example, Xbox Series X from $500 to $600, citing market conditions and rising cost of development as their reason for increasing the price. Now, granted, these price increases are to their current consoles, PS5, so to speak, not the Pro, and Xbox Series X and S. So, with all that to be said, you're all welcome to talk about whatever part of this and what your thoughts are. But I just was particularly interested in the fact that it's the Switch One that ended up seeing a price increase.
My main thing on this makes no sense. Like, are they too afraid that sales on the Switch 2 were going to be impacted, so they hit the old system? Like,
That's my thought. Is they want to
it,
keep the they want to keep the price low on the Switch 2, lower on the Switch 2 as long as possible.
This isn't going to. I feel like this isn't going to incentivize people to buy Switch 2s. I think this is going to incentivize.
I feel like this is, if you're going to buy a Switch 1, you might as well buy a Switch 2 because of the price difference, right?
That would be the logic. But I also think, like people are going to see this as like, wait, they released a new system and then raised the price on the old stuff. And I mean, now like the Joy-Cons are like the most. Well, I joked that they used to be the most expensive controllers on the scene, but now they are.
Target even upped the price of Switch 2 accessories. I think the Joy-Cons are $99 now.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
right there,
actually
100.
I held off, for example, on buying the Switch 2 Pro controller because I was waiting for like themed controllers, like a Zelda one or whatever. So as I saw the price tag, I'm like, all right. I hit that. Wow, my camera shook. That Amazon sale and got my Pro controller because I'll save that money.
Yeah, like I just don't I don't understand, and maybe I'm in a different area of effect here because like I have a Switch and a Switch 2, so like I don't get what this is supposed to do, and then raising the price of NSO and all that stuff. I don't know. Nintendo's been doing wild shit for like the last 8 years, so like.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be surprised, but I am surprised on this one. To be honest with you, I'm really surprised.
I mean, to me, it's like this. Not that either of them make sense, but this makes more sense to do than Xbox making the Series S the same price as a PlayStation 4, right? I mean,
right? Yeah,
or PlayStation 5. I mean, like it's. I think. I mean, the Switch 2 is going to go up in price after the holidays, if not before. But I think they're trying to hold off until after the holidays so they can try to get as many of these things out as possible. And I think the way they're trying to keep that down is we need to increase the prices of something, but we already raised the price, theoretically, we think they raised the price on the Switch 2 because of tariffs, right? Like, they never confirmed it, but they already kind of did that. And so they can't just up the price 3 months after the console comes out.
Here's a wild idea,
I guess.
Here's a wild idea. Like sell through the rest of the inventory you have and just stop making the damn thing. Like the Switch 2 is basically backwards compatible with the Switch, with Switch software and all that stuff. I think there's a few outliers, but like there's always going to be some outliers, wherever, but I feel like just sell through your inventory and just put your main focus on the new hardwares. It's also what I said to Sony, when they had the PS4 running concurrent with the PS5 for like damn near 4 years, like sell through your inventory and then just make your current flagship.
Sony had a different issue going on back.
Oh, I know that. I know they had. Oh, I know they had a different issue.
I think you're gonna see the PS4, PS5, and PS6 on the market at the same time, because the baseline, I think, in terms of like the scalability stuff that Microsoft clearly wants to do, but has no idea how to message it or market it or do it. I think when you look at the PlayStation's family of consoles, especially if they're going to introduce this handheld at some point, like, I mean, they introduced that low energy mode, which I don't know if you saw the leaked documents of the PlayStation handheld, but I don't know, that low energy mode on the PS5, it runs the PlayStation at the exact same specs as this theoretical handheld.
No, I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah, so it's they basically added a Series S mode to their firmware, but like a lot of these indie games don't need more than a PlayStation 4 to run. So that's going to be the baseline. And I think anything smaller than a AAA Sony first party game is going to run on PS4 or PS5 when the PlayStation 6 comes out. And there's just going to be a PlayStation ecosystem, right? And you buy the PlayStation that you feel like you need. And I think PlayStation's too stuck in tradition, so they're going to name it the PlayStation 6, right? But I think theoretically it's going to be just, the PlayStation is going to be the ecosystem, and it just depends on what box you play on. And, and I think Nintendo is sort of crossing into that, especially with like indies and smaller games, right? Like we already see a lot of their first party games, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, and it's the same as the Xbox with smart delivery. So I don't know.
I don't know. I think Nintendo is trying to make us switch, no pun intended, to the Switch 2.
Yeah.
I mean, this might go a little bit more towards my topic later, but just the fact that like the Switch 1, there are going to be Switch 1 games that will not have an upgrade to the Switch 2. Like if you want the Switch 2 version, you have to get the Switch 2 version of it.
Yeah.
Like they're making those moves.
Yeah.
So
I mean, so far I was kind of okay with a lot of stuff that was going on, but I feel like this right here is like on Nintendo side is like way too much, and the sad part is like the greatest part is like I have no plans on buying any of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I have my fill of the Switch 1, so like there's no need for me to look to buy another Switch. I'm not getting an OLED. If I was going to get an OLED, I was going to get the first couple of months it dropped. I'm not like why do I need a Switch Lite? So like who are they gearing this towards? Well,
a lot of these accessories also are compatible with the Switch 2, so that might also encourage the price increases, if just in case people are like, well, I'm just going to go for the lesser option, which is now slightly more expensive because it has the same capacity or capabilities as the Switch 2 stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I get it, but I also don't get the logic. Like I just feel like this. I just feel like this is another way. Like and this is not. This is not the time to be playing games like this,
Mm-hmm.
I do think a lot of it also has to do with market conditions, because let's face it, the last like 5 years, prices have like tripled on like everything except for console accessories and games and all that, and now we're starting to see them play catch up with it. Like, yeah, our $60 game should.
Are we talking about Nintendo specifically, or just everybody? Because
everybody, Nintendo included.
Yeah, because I mean, PlayStation controllers, PS5 controllers have been expensive in my opinion. But I guess the hubris was that they're not the same. You're getting a PS5 DualSense controller for $10 cheaper than a Joy-Con.
Mm-hmm.
Also, to be fair though, Joy-Con is technically two controllers.
It's two controllers. I know.
Yeah.
I know, but yeah, like, but yeah, like if you're actually buying a Joy-Con set to replace like ones that are messed up, you technically bought one controller when you're playing in handheld mode.
Yeah,
yeah. That's the way I've always looked at it. That's why I was like, man, like that's the most expensive.
Remember,
neither here nor there.
Remember when controllers went up to $40 from $25 from the PS2 to like the 360 PS3 generation, and we thought that was expensive? Now I'm like crying.
That Rumble now.
Now I'm like, the 6-axis didn't have rumble. That was the problem.
Oh, well, it had gyros.
Yeah, I could not wait to play God of War so I could balance him on a beam with my controller.
Just like you can't wait to play with a Joy-Con 2 controller just to hear it make the Mario sound just from or Mario coin sound just from the rumble part alone.
Yeah.
Did you check out? Oh no, you haven't tried the welcome tour. They feature something on the just how powerful that rumble is. That the rumble sound actually can mimic the coin collecting sound in Mario. Just the rumble, not like no speaker. The rumble, the vibrations make the coin sound. It's like, how the hell does that happen? It's magic. It's Nintendo magic.
It was
worth $100 just for that. Nothing else can do it.
Yeah. It was Star Fox, the crazy talking that made it rumble, right? Remember?
Man. Bumblebee tuna.
Jeez. Yeah, I just feel like these companies, or not these companies, I feel like Nintendo specifically is trying to find a way not to increase the price of the Switch 2. They've already increased the price of their games from 60 to 70, right? Their upgrade paths range from $10 to $20 depending on what you get with it, right? It's what is this? What's happening? I hear a creepy horror voice in my headphones.
So that's not just me.
Yeah, no, I heard it too.
That was creepy.
I don't hear anything. What?
Oh.
I'm glad you didn't hear it.
That means we were causing it.
Oh my gosh, that was scary. That was creepy. Anybody else creeped out by that?
I was very, very
What the hell did you guys hear?
Like a demonic rumbling.
Yeah.
Well, that's the show tonight. We're thank everybody for watching and or listening.
I'm sleeping with the lights on tonight, and maybe under the bed. Who knows?
Oh, you're gonna sleep under the bed with the monster? Okay. Let's see how that works out.
I don't even know where I was going. Oh, so I think they're trying to do everything they can to not raise the price of the console itself, because $450 and $500 is already a giant pill to swallow, right? And I don't know. I guess if you're looking for like a Switch Lite for your kid, like $230 is not exactly breaking the bank for some people, right? I mean, it's expensive, but it's the cheapest option for video games. So like, I don't know. Is it worth it? I don't know. The Switch Lite's okay, but if you want an OLED Switch, you might as well just pony up the extra $50 and get a Switch 2. Like it's that kind of.
But the Switch 2 is an OLED, so I mean, like, are you making a compromise or what?
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't. To me, the OLED is really nice, but the game's running at 60 frames a second is nicer. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a bad situation all around. This looks bad. It doesn't matter which way you slice it, right? Like it just looks bad. Microsoft raising the price of Outer Worlds to $80 looks bad. Them reversing the price looks bad. Like there's all these things that make these companies look bad right now, and I feel like the only company that doesn't look bad in this. I feel like the only company that doesn't look bad in this situation is PlayStation. To be honest with you, they haven't done anything like really. I mean, aside from like
they've been talking about it.
Yeah, they have.
There's definitely been talk that their systems are the next one to get the hike.
They will. I think Nintendo and Sony are waiting till after the holidays to raise the price. I think they are really trying hard to make it through the holiday season without having to do that. But I do expect the PlayStation 5 to go up in price sooner than later.
What do you think? $700 for a PlayStation 5 original and like $900 for a Pro?
No, I think the Pro will go up to $750. I think what do you get the current one for? The one with the disc drive, $500. I bet each SKU will go up $50.
I know. I think they're going Microsoft route and doing $100.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft also can't sell their consoles anyway, so it's gonna be real weird soon. But I don't know. I can't believe that the 2 terabyte diskless white Xbox Series X costs as much as almost as much as a PlayStation 5 Pro. It's ridiculous.
You know what would be a good topic to talk about later?
What
are we going to do when the great video game crash of our future happens? Like, what are we going to replace video games with? We should have to start thinking about this soon.
No.
I don't think there's I mean, there's
not going to be. There's not going to be
a great crash is coming. Game developments are going to take 20 years for the sequel.
This is what's going to happen.
It is crazy that PlayStation's when their quarterly financials came out, they said 52% of their revenue came from 10 games for that quarter. And they don't own any of them. So it was like Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox, Apex Legends, Call of Duty, NBA 2K, Madden, FIFA. I forget what the other ones were, but they were kind of like in that vein of like you can buy microtransactions, right? So it's a weird spot. Games are in a weird spot. But you know, I mean, when the most popular game on PlayStation Network is how to grow a garden in Roblox, right? Which is like some garbage, you know, I don't know, creation. 21 million concurrents that game had at one point. Concurrents, not players, concurrents, which means they had way more. So
real quick shout to the stream chat. Deuce Falco is like, no, Expedition 33 showed that games are alive and well. I appreciate that.
I agree with that 100%, but more companies need to take that approach for that to be a full-on reality, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Expedition 33 right now is the exception when it needs to be the rule. Right. And they built something
needs to be the rule.
Yeah, they built something of that quality and that length and that great with 30 something people at the studio, plus like their outsourcing of things, right? But like then you look at someone like look at Concord from PlayStation, right? Like 200 and something people worked on that for 8 years. They shut the game down after 2 weeks. Like that's insane. You know, it's just this industry needs to figure it out. And when there's a quote unquote crash, it's not because there's not going to be an influx of money coming into the industry. It's going to be because I feel like there are too many developers trying to make too many games and they're all coming out and there's not enough time or money to play them all. And so these studios are going to fold, you know, and I think that's part of the industry issue right now with all these layoffs is that their games could be good, but it doesn't help to be good anymore. You have to be great. And even then, you know, you have to have a little bit of luck or a platform holder behind you to be successful. You know,
it's interesting seeing the gaming industry, like, you know, falling into the same trappings that, you know, like Hollywood has been dealing with for like 50 years now.
Yeah. And you think, LeRon, I'm sure you remember this, but like when Final Fantasy 2/4 came out for Super Nintendo, that game was made by like 25 people in 9 months.
Yeah.
You know, when was the last video game, like a quality video game, you know, made in 9 months? Or like, you know what? Even the 2-year cycle of the 360 PS3 era.
Shit, even indie games take longer than that in this day and age.
There was a game that just come out just recently that is getting good reviews and it only took 7 months to make.
But what is it?
Dead Take on the PC by Surgeon Studio.
I don't know what that is.
I will probably talk about it next week because I want to beat it first.
But like, you know, by the time Naughty Dog puts their next like full game out, between The Last of Us Part 2 and I guess Intergalactic would be their next game, right? It'll be longer between games than it took them to make the entire Uncharted trilogy, The Last of Us, Left Behind, and Uncharted 4.
Here's the question: how big was Naughty Dog? How do we know like the manpower behind Naughty Dog back then?
So yes, so Uncharted 1 and 2, they had one team. Then they split into two teams, and one team made Uncharted 3, and the other team made The Last of Us. And then the Last of Us team did The Last of Us Remastered, while the Uncharted 3 team started Uncharted 4. And then they reverted back to one team because of the leadership kind of headbutting, and that's why Amy Hennig left, who was the lead writer and creator of Uncharted. That's why she left. And Uncharted 4 was essentially rebooted. And so they reverted back to one team to get that game out the door, and then they went to The Last of Us Part 2. Mm-hmm. So,
but we don't know specifically how many bodies were making those games. We don't.
I feel like each team was about 80 to 100 people.
Mm-hmm. And any idea where they're at now?
The studio is still relatively small in terms of headcount. I'm not 100% sure how many people work there. I know Insomniac has more people than Naughty Dog working there, but I'll look it up. We have these great machines sitting right in front of us to look things up, and I wasn't even.
Yeah.
Naughty Dog employee headcount. Whoa, really? That doesn't make sense. Naughty Dog, as of July 2025, has approximately 1,000 employees.
That makes zero sense.
Doing what?
Making one game, apparently. Maybe they should split that 1,000 into 5 different teams, and then we can get some Jack and Daxter going again.
So that was the Google Gemini AI telling me that. I mean, their Wikipedia page still says 400 plus as of 2023. But I doubt
plus 1,000.
There's a possibility that they're also the outsourced people and all that stuff. Outsourcing
QA plus this count might still be counting the Last of Us, the online game that they canceled. Might still be counting that team, which was 120 people.
Yeah.
So, still, I'm
just curious, and I know, if it is more or less between 400 and 500 people, I guess it still makes sense why it's going to take 3 or 4 years for the next new game to come out and stuff like that. It's interesting to think about the fact that we were used to getting the Mass Effect games are coming out every 2 years. What was a game series that had that basically had and was good quality, not Assassin's Creed, but had a sequel damn near a year, maybe a year and some months later, and they did 3 games, and they basically came out year after year, barely the calendar barely moved up a tick, in the year mark, when these games came out. I can't remember what it is. It was in the PS2 era. Shoot.
I mean, even in
Jack
360,
and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank. I feel like there was a new game every 6 months with Ratchet.
Yeah, and those are AA games that became AAA games. The Ratchet and Clank series. Yeah,
but I mean, even when you look at the 360, we got the entire Uncharted trilogy within 5 years. We got 3 Infamous games if you count that Vampire downloadable one in 4 years. We got the entire run of Gears games on 360 in 5 or 6 years, or 6 or 7 years, right? There was 4 of them, plus DLC for all these games, most of them.
I am curious, what is making games take a lot longer? They aren't as you would think with technology. Time should be
I think technology is one of the problems. I think it is because I mean and also I think technology is the main thing because a lot of times these games are getting in-house they'll make changes to the engine sometimes, and sometimes those changes to the engines have to be the games have to adapt to the new changes in the engine, because even if for example, I've seen the difference between Final Fantasy VII Intergrade and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I've seen the difference in those. I was it says they're using the same engine, but you can tell there's been some tweaking done, stuff like that. So, I think.
But what about games like the Resident Evil games? We got the remakes of 2, 3, 4, all within a space of like 5 years, as well as Resident Evil 8 in there too. Like,
well, I know for sure 2 and 3 were being developed at the same time, because like there's still like a very big rumor that it was supposed to be 2 and 3 was supposed to be like an anthology that was released simultaneously.
That also brings in the question: why can't these other developers make teams so that they can develop games again? Not everyone on one game, but like multiple teams so that they can do these concurrent games.
My real answer is that the main companies themselves want to save money. They don't want to pay all these people. Well, they don't want to pay all these people to be sitting around, and also like
what
they've also got
people be doing.
I know, which is why I'm like
explaining them into teams would make them work more.
I'm quicker to believe like the 400 between 400 and 500 number than I am that 1,000 number. That sounds like that sounds like AI just is like, oh, we're just going to collect all the data and say this is the number,
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation the entirety of PlayStation employs like less than 9,000 people. You're telling me like an eighth of those people work at Naughty Dog? I doubt it. Come on.
Yeah. Because Naughty Dog's not that big of a studio. Because I feel like not Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is Ghost of Tsushima. Dang it. The Spider-Man people. Who is that? Insomniac. Yeah, I feel like Insomniac, doing like 3 projects at a time, and they're one studio, like, wow, that's the other thing that's probably taking up a lot of their time. Like, they're having one studio like concentrate the biggest bulk of their workforce on one title.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee you right now,
could easily make a Spider-Man, Wolverine, and a Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
and maybe even throw in an Infamous. No, that's Sucker Punch.
That's Sucker Punch.
Yeah. What else did Insomniac do? You know what? No, that's also Sucker Punch. I was going to say Sly Cooper.
No, Resistance Fall of Man. That's Insomniac.
You know what? And make another Sunset Overdrive just to throw it in there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. There's other stuff at play, but I think the main thing is like money. Like because like we always hear like we're downsizing all this stuff, and I know this topic is running super long. We're downsizing all this workforce, all these teams and stuff like that, because like we're hemorrhaging money, and the first place they always want to like say, shore up the hemorrhage is like, to cut the payroll, and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I guarantee you, like the guys, the people, Insomniac, Sucker Punch, Naughty Dog, they're feeling the burn on all this stuff because like they're losing resources, in the process of while they're trying to make like these bombastic AAA titles, for the companies.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't know how any company over like 100 people could be like effective with their resources. I don't know. I just feel like that's too much to manage. Mm-hmm. But I haven't been in those big companies, so
yeah.
I think one of my companies ever had is like close to 100 people all around.
So I actually thought PlayStation was doing it right for a while, right? Like Spider-Man, they used the same engine and the same kind of gameplay and mechanics to make Miles Morales, right? They did Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy was all within the same engine and the same assets and the same kind of build. The Last of Us did Left Behind, and I'm sure there's a few other examples that I'm missing, but like I thought that was the direction we were going to go in. Is like the first game on the console, right? Like on the platform would be like, we put all of our work into this engine and this game, and now we're going to build smaller experiences off of this one game, right? So we can get more games out, right, at a $40 or $50 price tag. And I thought that was awesome. I thought Miles Morales and Lost Legacy were better than the games they were spun out of, essentially, right? Like I think Miles Morales is the best of that Spider-Man, of all the Spider-Man games. Mm-hmm. And it's not because I think Miles Morales is some great character or better than Peter Parker or whatever. It's because it was a nice, tight 7 to 10 hour experience instead of a bloated 25 to 30 hour experience, you know, and and Lost Legacy was the same way, you know. I don't know. I really thought that was the way we were going, and Microsoft positioned themselves to do that too with, you know, Forza and Halo, but they just didn't execute because, well, reasons
Halo
we've discussed a thousand times.
10-year plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that, by the way? The DLC they were making for Halo Infinite that got canceled?
No, I didn't.
Comic book now.
Of course.
Pulled a Mass Effect on us. Anyways. Well, that topic got real greasy.
Huh, yeah.
Stephanie, you're quiet on this topic. You have anything to say about the
I did think I was. I spoke a lot at the very beginning, and then my goal was to open up and have a free-flowing discussion, which is what happened. So I don't really have anything more to add to it than what I've already said. I guess my only comment is I am not a Nintendo apologist. I am a Nintendo fan. One thing I respect Nintendo as a company is their pretty conservative business practices, and I feel that despite what anyone, a consumer might think, I believe that this company does kind of have their head in the right place, and I feel like they tend to make better business decisions more than not good business decisions, like we see some other struggling companies. So I just found it a bit worrisome to me, a little bit, just a little bit, that Nintendo had to do this to a almost 10-year-old console. You know, again, given how, you know, they have really smart business practices. What can I say? I mean, when you see all the news with, you know, layoffs and all these other crap things and other companies raising prices on their consoles, I mean, Nintendo's kind of one of the last, you know, they do these things as a last resort. And say what you will about Nintendo loves money. Hey, anyone who's running a business loves money. Microsoft loves money.
I love money.
Sony loves money. You love money. I love money. I'm sure Pat loves money. We all love money.
LeRon doesn't. He left.
No, he doesn't.
Nope.
No,
nope. LeRon Scrooge McDucking.
Yeah, deaf to capitalism for real.
Anyway, it's just something that's worth keeping an eye on because it's kind of I don't want to say unprecedented, but just an unusual move in this uncertain time in the industry.
I mean, it kind of is unprecedented, though. You know, I mean, usually the prices of these things. Remember, you could buy like a GameCube for $99 at Walmart at one point, or like when the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 dropped to $200.
Hey, that's how I got my Wii. I waited and waited, and I got mine gently used for $99. So, but that's used. Never mind. I don't know. It's not the same. Next topic. Thank you.
I mean, we might as well just stay on this. This. What do you call it?
In this
topic?
Topic.
I mean, our other two topics aren't exactly positive. So, Pat, I'm gonna lean into your key card topic.
All right. So Nintendo just recently had their partner direct, and what should have been a celebration of third-party games coming to the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 consoles turned out to be a shitting on the fact that pretty much all but like 3 of those titles are going to be put on game key cards, which is the bane of any collector's existence. You mention game key cards and they will literally burst out into hives. So, they are a sore subject of many game collectors, and after the latest partner direct, it's a clear indication that collectors have had enough. Nintendo needs to offer different, cheaper options to put publisher games on game cards or risk possibly losing third-party support, in my opinion.
Wow, it's the Nintendo Wii. It's the Nintendo Wii all over again.
Yeah, I feel like Nintendo's been trying really hard to garner back their third-party support, especially because there's always been they're always a step behind in terms of what third-party games are capable of. Like the last ones always get the games on the system because they have to modify it to fit a lower definition system. Now we finally have the Switch 2, which is right up there with an Xbox Series S. And so they could possibly have third party release at the same time as the Xbox and PlayStation third party. However, in my opinion, no one is going to want to buy their games on the Switch 2 if they're coming on to key cards. Because I feel the Switch has always been like the collector's haven. Like out of all the systems there, people have started to believe that discs don't carry the complete game. Like if you want to have a complete game experience, you have to put the disc in, and it has to download a big patch and able to get it to be fully functional. The idea behind the Switch cartridge is that the game is already playable. All you have to do is insert it. No online, check-in required. Like it gives people that sense of I own this game.
My favorite example of the and this is when I 100% decided to go all digital on disc-based games, was the Shadow of the Tomb Raider gold. Like when it went gold and then it got delayed, has an entirely different ending on the disc than it does when you patch the game. You fight a different boss. There's a different ending. There's a different outcome.
What?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah. You should watch the YouTube comparison videos of the endings of Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
I will do that before I go to bed tonight.
It's wild. And so I was like, man, and this is obviously like game preservation is like a big topic in the industry, and it's like none of this stuff's ever going to be preserved ever the correct way, ever. I mean, Square Enix had to rebuild Final Fantasy Tactics, for God's sakes, just to put the remaster out. They had to remake the entire game because they lost the original source code. So Kingdom Hearts also, the original Kingdom Hearts source code is gone. They ripped the source code out of a retail copy to make the HD collections on PS3. And so yeah, I understand the digital stuff, but I also, like Pat said, Nintendo's environment has always been where the collectors go because of that reason of the games being there. And games even waiting. I mean, Shovel Knight didn't release their physical version until all of the DLC was out. So they could put it all on the disc or on the cart.
Yeah, and a lot of games, if they do end up having patches, eventually, the newer versions get upgraded onto the carts.
Yeah, even Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they released a version, I think it was the international version, has all the DLC on the cartridge, all of it, which is amazing.
Yeah. So Nintendo originally came up with this idea that they only wanted to have the 64 gigabyte game cards, which are expensive for producers to produce on, especially when the games are only let's say an indie game at 8 gigabytes. What's the rest of the 64 card going to have on it? That's why they kind of go this route of the key card. But because of this, now it's almost like the very cheap alternative that entices third-party support to just make their games onto these key cards, or even just do a code in a box, which is the worst sin in any physical collector's, opinion. Second to the game key card. Or no, first to the game key card is second, but it's still now
like a 1A,
I feel
1B.
yeah. Nintendo now just recently came out with a survey that was so popular they had to take it offline within 24 hours.
Yeah. I was like, oh, y'all done did it now.
Asking what people's opinion are of the of Switch or of physical games in general. Like it didn't even matter like what system. Of course, they did mention their key cards as well. But like I took it and there were options like I would never get this. I'm pretty sure a lot of people clicked I would rather go digital than support a game key card. The problem though is Nintendo Switch 2 is not going to be the first place that people will go digital to get a third party game. A lot of people are like, well, I will just go to Steam or even better, GOG and get the DRM free copies of games. That way I still feel like I have the ownership and have a better running version than that which might be on the Switch. So I feel like if Nintendo or third-party support if Nintendo wants to keep the third-party support, because third party is either going to make these cheaper these cheaper game key cards, or they're just not going to make games at all for the Switch 2. So they need to find a better alternative, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did see earlier today that the company that actually produces the cartridges, not the key cards, but the cartridges. It was implied that they are going to start making different sizes because of this situation. Will it ever come to fruition? Was this just some kind of weird thing? I don't know. I read it on like Eurogamer, VGC, so like it's, to me, those are credible sources.
I've seen that floating around the Twitterverse too. Them speculating that there's going to be a change in sizes.
Yeah, and I know Nintendo made these larger carts for third-party support, right? So third-party could use them, but like third-party's not using them, right? It's the indie games and the AA games that want to use them the most for collectors. So like, in my opinion, it would be better for them to make the smaller cards and the AAA games be the digital games.
I'm trying to think. How big was Cyberpunk? Like, I think Cyberpunk was only like 30 or 40 gigs, if I recall. And Borderlands 2, I think, is also coming in at like 40, and they're still going the keycard route. Or Borderlands 4, sorry.
Yeah, well, let's see. It does not say how big Cyberpunk was on this. It just says it's fully on the 64 gig cartridge.
Yeah, I think like a lot of these games, these bigger third-party games aren't even filling up half the cartridge. So that's why they haven't been going it.
Cyberpunk is 56.8 gigs.
Okay.
The biggest game on Switch 2 currently is Split Fiction at 71 gigs.
Yeah. Wasn't that a code in the box? I think that one was the code in the box that people were like, screw that.
Yeah. That's I feel like that game is not
Yeah, that's a compression issue.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyways, LeRon, thoughts on key cards on I feel like you've been kind of quiet.
Yeah, because I'm primarily a digital person, so like I mean, just for the sake of like what it is, like I know like this is going to be like this is probably like the biggest scandal for the Switch 2, and the Switch 2 is not even like 6 months old. It's a shame, and I'm not sure. I know part of the whole reason was definitely for them to sidestep, like piracy, or illegitimate gaming, but I also feel like like Nintendo's been doing this for a long time. There's a reason why Nintendo games do not ever drop in price and stuff like that. They're such a hot whether it's first party or third party, they're such a hot commodity, and they know their player base and all this stuff. So it just, again, like it's another bonehead decision and a bunch of bonehead decisions that Nintendo has been making for at least 7-8 years now, yeah, as soon as I heard about the game key cards, I was like, I see some pros to it, but I see a million cons to it. And yeah, we hate to see it, me personally, I'm mainly a digital gamer. I think the last physical game the last physical game I bought on the Switch was Mario and Luigi Brothership. But before that, I think the last physical game I bought on the Switch was Luigi's Mansion 3. So just think how far between like Brothership and Luigi's Mansion 3 that I bought a physical copy on the Switch. Everything else I bought was digital.
Yeah. No. For the Switch One, I bought a lot of, like, everything I bought, like, if I could get a physical, I would get a physical version. But because of the game key cards, Switch 2, I have not bought a physical Switch 2 game. Even Donkey Kong, I didn't buy physical, because it's like, what's the point if I can't collect these other games, with the game on the card? Then there's no point for me to really collect the ones that are on it, because I guess my library would just still feel incomplete.
And then here's the other craziness. Here's the other crazy thing, right? Okay, you heard that right?
I did.
Okay.
Are you guys hearing demons again?
Yes. Yeah. They're going. Weird. Eventually, some of these games are going to be delisted.
Yeah, and I mean, then you fall into the problem that Ubisoft fell into with what was it, The Crew, right?
Yeah.
Where like not only did they delist it, but they removed it from people's libraries, and then you have that whole problem of like, well, what does digital game ownership look like? And I think that's why people are so drawn to the physical, of course it's the collection aspect, but it's also like, at least I know I can like pop this game in and play it at some point.
And you see that right there is the real hot topic.
Yeah. But like, even then, like, there are games that will be taken offline, even if you have a physical disc and you can't play them, right? Like, I mean, my Destiny 2 disc is a coaster, right? None of that stuff works. Like, you put the disc in and it takes you to this whatever store you're on to download the free to play version. Like, it takes you to the store to download the free to play version.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just weird, and hey, I guess it's the perfect night for me to be on the show, because I'm always here to talk shit about Nintendo. But at the same time, I don't like to throw this word around a lot, but it feels very anti-consumer or anti-customer.
The problem isn't just Nintendo on this one. Like, Xbox and PlayStation have been doing it with their discs all the time. I think Xbox it just hurts more with Nintendo because of the fact that we stated earlier, it's the collector's environment that Nintendo has supported.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, the last bastion is under siege.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Real quick shout to Nicolae Dumitrescu. I appreciate you, bro. I see you out there in the chat.
Nick and Brody, WASD and beyond.
Yep.
Guys.
Yeah.
Need to get them on at some point.
Yeah. Ultimately, I'm gonna keep the light in the window for like all the Nintendo people out there, because something's got to give here, and the whole fiasco with the survey going up and then being taken down, that lets you know something's happening. Maybe they just got DDoS or something. It's better just take it down.
I think they hit the max quota. Like, usually when you have surveys, you have like a ceiling of how many that you take. Otherwise, the people who are doing your survey will charge more. to go through the data. I think that's what happened. They hit their ceiling.
It's funny because like I found out about this survey by Kevin Kenson had a video up this morning, and like I was watching it, and by the time you got 5 minutes into it, it was like Kevin from the future here. The survey has already been taken down. So in the time that he was putting together his video was enough time for the survey to go up and then come down before he could finish cutting and creating the video and uploading to YouTube. Yeah. I do see the talking point was in there how to fix the issue. The one talking point that we had as far as like the company that makes those cartridges, like making different size formats to better fit needs and stuff like that. That's definitely a good way to go. But the number one way to go is just remove that whole protocol.
Whole key card.
Yeah, remove the whole key card protocol. Like it was not. Remember, we were talking about that in the Switch 2 Direct. Like the Switch 2 Direct that happened like 9 weeks before the system came out. We were talking about that then. I was like, this is not going to be cool. I get what they're trying to do, but this is not it. And like I don't know, FAFO, I guess.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about this with the cartridges on Switch 1 when it came out and we were first doing PAL Block, right? It was like, oh no, cartridges. I mean, it just seems like a bad decision. We all know what happened with the N64 and the PlayStation. Like, I mean, obviously that turned out to not be the case.
Not be the case.
But
yeah,
I mean, like Pat brought up at the beginning of this conversation, it's that evil is rearing its head again. And, the only difference is like digital distribution is a thing this time, but like, it's just discouraging a lot of people from, doing the thing that they love the most, and that, collecting games and having a cool shelf full of games. Like, I mean, I think we all think it's cool to see someone with a collection and like all the bindings of the cases sticking out, and the case art and everything. Like, that's cool. I miss that sometimes, but this is all just part of the digital wave, I guess. And like, and the other point I wanted to say real quick was like, yeah, Nintendo is the last bastion. We see how many games people buy for Switch and Switch 2, right? Like how many, I mean, the attach rate was like, what was it? Like 11-1, I think, like 11 games per console or something ridiculous.
Which is wild, but yeah.
And they have the opposite effect that someone like Xbox does, which has trained their entire fan base not to buy games, to wait till it comes to Game Pass or, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's a weird, we live in a weird time. I just want to go to Toys R Us and grab my white slip and go to the creepy guy behind the counter and he can give me mine.
I don't want to be that guy, but I feel like the Nintendo base kind of empowered this, Nintendo, they position themselves to a point where Nintendo's like, oh, they're going to buy our shit no matter what. You know what I mean? Like that 11-1 attach rate. Oh my God. Like I'm one of the people when I have to buy a new console, like I stagger out how I buy stuff, I buy accessories before the console releases. I buy games before the console releases. So I'm not getting hit in the head, buying a multi-$100 system and buying hundreds of dollars worth of games and accessories for it and stuff like that, But man, like every new like Switch that trots off the shelves, there's 4 or 5 games and an extra set of Joy-Cons and probably even a Pro controller and an NSO subscription, oh my God,
yeah.
I might still have my camera and an extra charger in the boxes for my Switch 2.
Well, hey, but I mean, in all seriousness, Pat, like I look at that, I look at that right there as you being proactive to make sure you have this stuff on, because like it's a travel system, so yeah, having an extra power back, like that makes sense,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of when like the Vita,
I'll be
when
able
they
to bust
stopped
that out
making the
this
Vita.
week.
yeah.
It reminds me of when PlayStation stopped making the Vita and everybody started stockpiling Vita consoles.
Yeah.
So they would have them.
Yeah. Yeah. Strange times we live in. Like and I can't just blame the Nintendo fans for this, because Sony and Xbox fans do it to an extent also. Or let's go out. Let's step outside the meta for a second. How many people are buying all these like emulation consoles and these PC handhelds and stuff like that when they know one size fits all? It's either a Steam Deck, a ROG Ally, or whatnot. But we know, like, we got the Ioneos, the Amber Nicks, all this stuff, and it's like, oh my god, like, how much of this stuff do you need? We are consuming ourselves into a straight consumption, if that makes sense.
I mean, it's also to the point where like people for like older games, like Switch has the Switch Online stuff and the subscription services on the other consoles have older games, but like, I mean, why do you think the Analog Pocket and the Analog 64 HD is popular? People have their cartridges that they can still play on these machines, will play them. And that's the point. That's the big point, I think, of this whole thing, is like people just want to play the games that they own. They don't want to have to worry about. And I understand we're always online all the time, but sometimes we just want to put the disc in. What if we're on vacation out? What if you're in a cabin somewhere disconnected and this is your entertainment for the week? Like, just want to pop the disc in or the cartridge in and play the game
for real,
without all this other BS. So,
Steph, what say you?
I don't know if I really should say anything at this point.
That means you got the hottest take out of all of us.
I don't know. I don't want to sound the violin factory alarm and go against all the grain, but
do it.
I don't know. But let me preface this by saying, and Pat knows this, so Pat can vouch for me, I am a physical game collector. I am a physical game collector to a fault. However, when it comes to discussions like these, I need to try, and maybe it's the pharmacist in me, go for the most objective route possible and to view things from both sides, because I initially had a very visceral reaction to game key cards. I personally still will always purchase a truly all game on a physical cartridge over a game key card if I have the choice. However, with that being said, there are many factors to this where I really don't find this as devastating or horrible as some people paint it out to be. Is it ideal? No. The fact that even though I am a physical collector does not deny the fact that a majority of people who play games now are, consumed digitally. So this almost is a unique way to pioneer and straddle both sides. Whether or not it's going to be a failure, I can't predict or say, but I can't necessarily fault Nintendo for at least presenting this option, because you only need an internet connection the first time you insert that card. Once you put it in, pop it into your console and you make the connection, download it, you don't need an internet connection afterwards. So you can go where there's no internet and play it as if it's native. And then, number two, as much as I hate the internet, clearly it's kind of here, no matter what. So in a sense, I view game key cards is, if that's my only option, I actually still might get it, because I like having my boxes on a shelf. I still get the box, and I still have a little cartridge and not a piece of paper. And another thing I tell to rationalize myself, okay, is it worth having this big hang up over this? Because in 20, 30 years, when I want to revisit these, because I did order the Analog Pocket. I did pre-order the Analog 3D, which is coming at the end of the month, because they keep delaying it. In the end, CDs and cartridges are going to degrade over time. More CDs than cartridges. So there's still that risk of having a physical component versus a digital. And also, I need to ask myself, when I'm 60, am I going to really play all of these games all over again? Ideally, yes, but am I really? So I say that all to say is I find it very compelling and interesting that Nintendo's taken this route. On one hand, it might provide some financial levity to some. It might be that means of still showcasing games on a shelf in a physical store for casual gamers who still only find their games by walking to a store and seeing it there. So I personally am not a fan. I personally will always defer to a true physical, but I'm not going to pick up a pitchfork necessarily. But I will be monitoring this and seeing how this goes. I am curious to see, as going back to Pat's initial concern, is whether or not we will lose that initial fire of third-party support, because that is a true potential point of concern. And I certainly hope not, because I saw the Switch 2 as, yes, the console's powerful enough to support large third-party games. Let's go. But maybe so.
I like your rational thoughts on that stuff.
Yeah, same.
I know a lot of people have been making a mountain out of an anthill, like the possibility of what if you don't have the internet anymore? It's true. You only need it to download it once. Are they the complete evil? No, probably not. But at the same time, like it's people's personal preferences, and a lot of people who believe in physical collecting just will say, I need everything on the cartridge.
Yeah, I'm not calling them evil. I'm just calling them crazy.
Also,
Pat, I if I have the option to pick between a Switch 1 and a Switch 2 physical, and the Switch 2 is a game key card, personally, I will buy the Switch version.
Yeah, which kind of makes it now feeling a little more evil is when you had Octopath Traveler 0 get announced, and they're like, oh yeah, the Switch 1 game is all on the cartridge. Switch 2, it's a game key card. There will be no upgrade path between the two. If you want the Switch 2 version, you will have to buy the Switch 2 version.
I find that more offensive, for sure.
Yeah.
That I find okay, not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Wow. Look at us. Look at these topics. Why don't we transition into what we've been playing and then get on out of here? I'll save my Xbox rant for next week. Stephanie, I'm starting with you. What are you playing?
I've not been playing a lot of games lately because of life concerns, but I did play something different than last week, and the embargo's lifting tomorrow, so I can talk about it. Oh, I can't, because we're live.
We are live.
Okay, so I can't talk about it, but I am playing a game that's on embargo till tomorrow. The review will go up tomorrow, though, so if you're interested, it is a wacky indie psychedelic 3D platformer on Steam. Check out bossrush.net at 10 a.m. tomorrow Eastern Standard Time.
Be there. Or be square, as they say. People don't say that anymore.
I say
LeRon, you play anything fun and interesting besides life?
No, life's been playing me. But no, I haven't really been playing a lot this past week. I played some Tekken this past week. I played some Balatro. I'm trying to get back in the headspace to get back in and complete Expedition 33. I've been kind of woefully slumped on gaming. Haven't even been playing Monster Hunter lately. It's just been a thing.
I feel like you're not the only one not playing Monster Hunter right now, though.
Yeah, well, on the PC side, a lot of people aren't playing Monster Hunter. That's because there's still optimization issues. Even though since I don't know, maybe my problems with Monster Hunter Wilds when it first came out wasn't necessarily the game itself, because I recently rebuilt my computer. By rebuilt, I mean like did a clean install of like Windows and all this stuff, and like fixed all my drivers and all this stuff, and so I ran the game, like the first day after doing all this stuff, and I was like, oh man, like I'm running. I don't need frame gen anymore to like run the game. Like nice, like shit. Like maybe I was the problem,
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, but but that's just my experience. I can't speak to all the other PC gamers' experience, because there are some people who have better hardware in their rigs than I do right now currently. Because like I'm not pressed to buy a 50 series graphics card from Nvidia right now. So
Oh, why not?
No, who has the money for that? I mean, maybe I should just like dust off the OF channel, and then I'll have the money to buy a 50 series graphics card. But I'm lazy. I'm lazy. Like I don't want to give the people what they want all the time when they want it.
Bro, it's just feet.
Only
come on.
What would you say, Pat?
It is just feet.
Oh,
Let the people have what they want, LeRon.
No. Like I
show them lovely digits.
I'd have to get like a super pedicure right now. Like
gosh,
my feet are all right, but they're not ready to sell for pictures.
Jeez.
No, I can say I don't have bad feet, thank God. But at the same time, I also do not have like the feet that are like, oh man, like we'll send you money. Like no, stop. Corey, remember this goes all the way back to the very first episode of the Crossroads. Remember?
Yes. Yep.
That was even the nickname for the show for like a good like 4 or 5 episodes too.
Cross toes.
So not a lot of new or special gaming going on. Like I will, but by this time next week, I will have like sank my teeth in the Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, because like I definitely was like on the team. I'm getting this game, and there's another Ninja game that's like in this
Shinobi.
Thank you. But that's coming out. That comes out around the same time the Double Dragon game comes out, though, right?
It comes out at the end of the year or end of the month.
Okay. The end of this month?
Yes, or beginning of next. It's the crossover between the end of this month, beginning of next month is when. I could come up with a better answer.
Okay, all right. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but yeah, the Ninja Gaiden, Ragebound, and Shinobi game, those are definitely games that are on my radar. And wow, like all these martial arts games like runs us right into Ghost of Yote. Ain't that nice?
Mm-hmm. August 29th is Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
And then there's Metal Gear Solid Delta. Oh my god! Like oh my god, my bank account's starting to sweat now. Oh my god. Because I actually want to do a review for that, but then again, if I'm like I can't even play Monster Hunter, how am I going to play a game long enough to do a review for it?
That's what happens when you have life.
I need a sugar daddy or mama.
Aren't you dating a doctor?
I feel like daddies spend more money though. Huh?
Isn't your boyfriend a doctor?
Yeah, but he doesn't want to spend money on me like that.
Well, time to dump him.
Time to open up the relationship. Time to open up the relationship. That's what that is.
Well, I haven't really been playing a lot either. I played some Mario Party with the kids this weekend, and my son is really into Donkey Kong. So I was kind of playing that a little bit with him, but I haven't been playing much. I've just been way too busy. So, Pat, I guess it's your turn.
All right. Well, I have been playing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. It was one of those games I wasn't going to get, but then I saw all the good reviews, and, I was like, oh, I don't know if I really want a hard game, but everyone's like saying that the hard is like one of the experiences of this game that, need to be experienced, and it's like, fine, I will go ahead and get the game. So I did buy it, and I am pleasantly surprised of how fun this game is, despite the fact that, yes, it is hard. The nice thing about this game, though, is that, like, compared to the old Ninja Gaiden, is that you don't have lives. So you can keep on, replaying your sections over and over again until you finally get through it. The levels have checkpoints, so you just try and make yourself get to the next checkpoint. And also another good thing about this is it does have that old-fashioned side-scrolling style where the enemies are placed in specific spots. So the more you screw up, the more you'll learn, where the enemy placements are, when you need to hit, when you need to jump, and all those fun stuff, so that eventually by try 5 and beyond, you're like, just waltzing right through the level with like dancer's precision, or I guess that's how to describe it.
Yeah, that works.
You're moving around like a ninja.
With that,
yeah. What's up?
as someone who is terrible at video games, do you think I would be enraged if I play it?
Oh,
Well, there is one of the things that this game does have that a lot of reviewers seem to not mention is that it does have difficulty options. And these are the difficulty options that are very customizable and scalable. Now, so I think you can like literally scale the enemy damage down to 0 if you really wanted to. The game gives you a warning though that, hey, try and play this on the original difficulty first, because that's how we intended the game. But there are scales. And, you just I don't know how that would work though with the platforming aspect, because there is a lot of like platforming parts to it. But you have the ability to adjust it, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it is accessible to, anyone, really.
To know. And just for those physical collector lovers, I did opt into just buying the physical and not the special edition because I'm addicted to buying special editions. But if you're a Ninja Gaiden fan and want to consider it, there is a special edition by Silver Lining. And it's not ESRB rated. Like I think it's like a European, like it's only in a European edition, but thankfully it's not like you can still play it.
Yeah.
It contains a cloth map, metal pins, a medallion, a pixel stage standee, a poster. But what I liked is that it comes with a booklet, like a game guide kind of, and a digital soundtrack. Not a fan of the digital part though. But just so you know, there is a special edition out there.
Yeah. No, overall, like it is a very precise game. It feels good. The controls are tight. The movement is tight. Like for a game that you are, kind of based or working on your skills, it feels good. So like your losses are more because of something you did versus something, based on a game control. But it is a lot of fun. I like the concept of it. You are a ninja from Ryu's clan. Ryu's gone to America to see his dad's final wishes, and so you're a different ninja that just happens to be around during a demon invasion, and he pairs up with an enemy ninja who's eventually their souls get intertwined, and so you kind of have control over both of these characters in one go. It's very interesting concept, but it does have a good story going on with it. Like I said, the action's awesome. If you're a fan of the original Ninja Gaiden, I think this is definitely right up your alley. If you're new to it, like I said, it's worth a shot. It's I think $20 on this, $20 or $30 on the store. I can't remember, but it has those difficulty options. And for people who want to try Shinobi, there is a demo for that as well. And I'm happy to say that Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden both feel very different. So there's not going to be a fatigue between the two. Shinobi feels more Metroidvania-ish and stringing combos along versus Ninja Gaiden's more precision-based, hit at these right times and more straightforward approach. So 2 different style games going on.
So I have a question about the protagonist. Is this the same protagonist that's going to be in 4?
I think 4 is Ryu, I thought.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
I thought
you
were playing someone else.
Well, this one doesn't have this one only has like a face, like scarf mask instead of the whole get up. So I think the 4th one is Ryu. I feel, but I don't think this one is the same protagonist as 4. If it is someone different.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know I haven't really played any of the original Ninja Gaidens, but I hear people really like the throwback that's in the very first mission. So if you're big on Ninja Gaiden lore, you might like what it does right away.
Interesting.
Yep. I also played The Adventures of Elliot, the demo version from Team. Why do I keep forgetting the name? It's not Asobi. God damn it.
You're talking about the Octopath team?
Yeah, it's the Octopath team and the Bravely Default team.
I'm looking forward to hearing about this.
Yeah, this is the team that is, very prominent in the HD 2D, the 2D HD video game universe. And this game, when you play it, it looks like something out of the new Dragon Quest in terms of its style, but it plays very much like a Legend of Zelda game. And it is a lot of fun with the gameplay. You play as this guy named Ilya, who is an adventurer. Humans are kind of tied into one one remaining bastion, and the rest of the world is full of beast tribes. And I guess adventurers go out into these unknown lands to find ruins and all sorts of artifacts and stuff in the ruins. And so that's what Elliot's doing. He's been commissioned to go and explore these newly discovered ruins. What you get is you get a beautiful overworld map, very similar to Zelda. You move around, it's action-based combat. You swing a sword, you have the ability to have an item in the other hand, whether it be bombs or arrows from the demo's perspective. And then also you have a fairy companion who is freaking annoying as hell. And, when I finished this game, there's a survey that you can take at Square's website that, you can give your feedback. And I told them you needed to either have an option to just shut the fairy up or completely limit what she says. Because there's enough, yeah, because it's oh, look over there, what did you find? Or what did that switch do? When, you hit a switch and then a platform literally 2 feet next to you rises up, and she's like, what did that switch do? It's look over there, you dumb
don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah. You dumb little sprite. Use your own eyes for once. No, she's kind of annoying. So, typical fairy characters, they're kind of annoying. But besides that, the action is very smooth. You start with a sword, and you can pick up other equipments along the way. Eventually, I found a sickle, like a chain sickle. When that weapon was just so freaking awesome, because it allowed you to create a circle, kind of hitting anyone that's kind of in your path. But also, if you could charge it up and throw it for farther distance and pull the enemy to you, where you can then go up and just pulverize them afterwards. It just felt so good. And the game rewards you for exploring, There are shrines that increase your energy levels. There are caves that give you magicite, which are these gems that can augment your abilities and weapons in certain ways. Music was great, graphics, beautiful 2D HD, and some really fun gameplay. The dungeons felt a little bit on the easy side, but it was a good mix of puzzles and combat, just like a typical Zelda dungeon would be. Bosses were also kind of a little bit easy, but like maybe they'll just change later on. Like I felt the difficulty was pretty simple for this game. Whether that is just because of the demo or if that's going to be how easy the game is, but it's fun. The demo only took me about. People can race through it in about 45 minutes. I literally explored all the map that I could and beat it in about an hour and a half. So
nice.
Yeah,
really fun.
Cool.
Now, this sounds like it's right up my alley, and the fact that there's a survey that they'll take at the end, I do feel like, or at least I hope they will make those minor tweaks, like with the fairy, for example. Because I feel like once you get that, I think you're going to hit a really nice sweet spot with that game.
That's the beauty of this team. Like every game that they've released a survey. Like when they released the demo, you go to the website and you can fill out a survey, and they take those, responses. Like I think Octopath 2, one of the complaints was your characters were traveling too slow, and so they sped up the characters.
Nice. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, like you said, I remember the survey when Octopath Traveler released their demo before that game came out.
Yeah.
So they've been good about that.
I'm
is that
excited to see the full game. Yeah, that's all I have for this week.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that. I got real, honest. Well, Oracle Zelda game vibes out of that trailer. But
if you miss those 2D Zelda games, this game will scratch that itch.
Yeah. I will download the demo and check it out. But on that note, that's going to wrap it up. Everybody out there, thank you so much for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. You can join us live on Tuesdays on YouTube and Twitch. You can listen to us on your podcast service of choice. Watch us on YouTube on demand afterwards. LeRon, Stephanie, Pat, thank you for your time tonight, as always. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And everybody out there, you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. If you want exclusive or early access to certain goodies, check out bossrush.net, including Stephanie's mysterious review coming up soon.
Let's just say her review is to die for over and over
and over
times a certain number.
Jeez.
That reminds me quick. We should Pat, put our heads together and as a topic in a future episode is just come up with our own silly retelling of what a back of the box summary of a game would be, and then Corey and LeRon will have to guess what the game is. You're good at that.
Good idea.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm game.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
So long.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.